Have you ever found yourself tossing and turning at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling, wondering why sleep just won't come? Or maybe you fall asleep quickly, but wake up an hour later, wide awake with a racing heart or a stomach that feels like it's doing somersaults. If you're over 60 and struggling with sleep, you're not alone. A recent study found that nearly 70% of seniors report having trouble sleeping at least a few nights each week. But here's what many doctors aren't telling you. What you eat in the evening could be sabotaging your sleep more than anything else. I'd love to know where you're joining me from today. Drop a comment below and let me know if you've been struggling with sleep lately. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest health insights that could change your life. Today, I'm going to reveal the surprising foods that are silently destroying your sleep quality. Foods that might seem harmless or even healthy, but are actually keeping you wide awake when you should be getting that precious, restorative rest your body desperately needs. And wait until you hear about the third food on our list. It's in almost every senior's evening routine, and it's wreaking havoc on your sleep cycles without you even realizing it. So, let's dive in, because better sleep isn't just about feeling rested. It's about protecting your brain health, strengthening your immune system, and even extending your life. And it all starts with what's on your dinner plate. First, let's understand what happens in your body as you age and how it affects your sleep. Margaret, a retired school teacher I worked with, put it perfectly. "I used to sleep like a rock," she told me with a sigh. "Now, I feel like my body has forgotten how." What Margaret was experiencing wasn't just bad luck or an inevitable part of aging. It was a complex cascade of changes happening in her body, changes that can be managed with the right knowledge. As we age, our bodies produce less melatonin, the hormone that signals it's time to sleep. By age 70, many people produce only half the melatonin they did when they were younger. That's like trying to hear an alarm clock that's been turned down to half volume. At the same time, our digestive systems slow down. Food sits in the stomach longer, and the body works harder to process certain nutrients. This is why a meal that wouldn't bother you at 40 might keep you wide awake at 70. And here's what most people don't realize. The barrier between your digestive system and your brain becomes more permeable with age. This means that what you eat has an even stronger effect on your brain chemistry, your hormone balance, and ultimately, your sleep quality. Margaret didn't need a stronger sleeping pill. She needed to understand which foods were disrupting her natural sleep cycle. And when she finally learned what to avoid, her sleep transformed within just 1 week. So what are these sleep-destroying foods? Let's start with the biggest culprit, one that might surprise you because it's actually recommended by many health experts for other reasons. The first sleep destroyer: tomatoes and tomato-based foods. Yes, that pasta with marinara sauce or that delicious pizza might be the very reason you're counting sheep at 3 a.m. Here's why. Tomatoes are highly acidic, containing high levels of tyramine, which triggers the release of norepinephrine, a brain stimulant that keeps you alert and awake. For seniors whose digestive systems are already more sensitive, these acidic foods can cause acid reflux or heartburn when you lie down, making it physically impossible to fall into deep sleep. Robert, a 72-year-old former accountant, discovered this connection by accident. "I loved having tomato soup for dinner," he told me. "It was warm, comforting, and seemed like a healthy choice, but night after night, I'd wake up with burning in my chest and throat." When Robert eliminated tomatoes and tomato-based sauces after 2 p.m., he noticed an immediate difference. "The first night, I slept straight through for 6 hours, something I hadn't done in years," he said. The science backs up Robert's experience. A study from the University of California found that consuming highly acidic foods like tomatoes within 3 hours of bedtime decreased sleep quality by up to 40% in adults over 65. That's nearly half your sleep quality gone because of one food choice. But it's not just the acidity. Tomatoes also contain high levels of tyramine, which stimulates brain activity. Exactly what you don't want when you're trying to wind down. Think of tyramine as coffee in disguise. You wouldn't drink coffee before bed, so why eat foods that have a similar stimulating effect? If you love tomatoes, don't worry. You don't have to eliminate them completely, just enjoy them for lunch instead of dinner. Your body will have plenty of time to process them before you hit the pillow. Now, let's move on to the second sleep wrecker that's probably sitting in your refrigerator right now. The second sleep destroyer: aged and fermented cheeses. That lovely cheese board you enjoy in the evening. It might be the reason you're wide awake at midnight. Aged cheeses like cheddar, Swiss, Parmesan, and blue cheese contain extremely high levels of tyramine, even more than tomatoes. These aged cheeses trigger the release of histamine in your body, which increases brain activity and can interfere with your body's natural sleep cycle. For seniors, whose sleep is already more fragile, this can be particularly disruptive. Eleanor, a 68-year-old grandmother of 5, was baffled by her sudden insomnia. "I've always been a good sleeper, even after menopause," she said. "But suddenly, I was waking up every night around 1 a.m., completely alert, sometimes with my heart racing." After tracking her evening meals for a week, we discovered the pattern. On nights when she had cheese with crackers while watching her evening shows, she would wake up like clockwork a few hours later. I was skeptical that something as simple as cheese could have such a powerful effect, Eleanor admitted. But the first week I stopped having it after lunch, I slept through the night 5 times. It was like a miracle. What was happening in Eleanor's body wasn't magic. It was chemistry. The tyramine in aged cheese triggers a cascade of events in the brain that increases the production of norepinephrine, a neurotransmitter that keeps you alert and ready for action. Even more concerning, for seniors taking certain medications for depression, high blood pressure, or Parkinson's disease, tyramine-rich foods can cause dangerous spikes in blood pressure that disturb sleep and potentially create other health risks. If you love cheese, opt for fresh varieties like ricotta, cottage cheese, or mozzarella in the evening. These contain significantly less tyramine and are less likely to disrupt your sleep. Save the aged varieties for lunch or early afternoon when your body has more time to process them before bedtime. And now, let's talk about the third and perhaps most surprising sleep destroyer, one that's probably part of your evening routine and might even be recommended by well-meaning family members. The third sleep destroyer: herbal teas, especially those with hidden caffeine. A nice cup of tea before bed has been traditional advice for sleep troubles for generations. But this well-intentioned remedy might actually be making your insomnia worse, especially if you're choosing the wrong kind of tea. Many herbal teas marketed for relaxation and sleep actually contain hidden sources of caffeine or other stimulating compounds. Green tea, for example, is often touted as a healthy alternative to black tea, but it still contains significant amounts of caffeine, around 25–30 milligrams per cup. That's enough to keep sensitive seniors awake for hours. Even more surprising are herbal teas like ginger, mint, and certain bedtime blends that contain herbs that act as stimulants in the body, particularly for older adults whose metabolism has slowed. James, a 76-year-old retired engineer, was religious about his evening cup of calming mint tea. "I thought I was doing everything right," he explained. "I avoided coffee after noon, cut out sugar, and had my soothing cup of mint tea every night at 9 p.m. But I was still waking up at 2 a.m. mind racing. When James replaced his mint tea with a cup of warm milk with a touch of honey and cinnamon, the change was remarkable. Within 3 days, I was sleeping until 6 a.m., a full 7 hours. I hadn't slept that long in a decade." The stimulating effect of certain herbal teas comes from natural compounds that have a caffeine-like effect on the nervous system. Peppermint, for example, contains menthol, which increases alertness. Ginger contains gingerol, which boosts metabolism and can increase heart rate. For seniors whose bodies process everything more slowly, These compounds can remain active in the system for 5 to 7 hours, much longer than in younger adults. That means your 8 p.m. cup of tea could still be stimulating your brain at 2 a.m. If you enjoy a warm beverage before bed, opt for truly sleep-supportive options like chamomile, which contains no caffeine and has been proven to promote sleep, warm milk, which contains natural sleep-inducing compounds, or a simple cup of warm water with a small amount of honey, which can help stabilize blood sugar through the night. Now let's talk about the fourth sleep destroyer, one that might be surprising because it's often recommended as a healthy evening snack. The fourth sleep destroyer, chocolate and cocoa, even the dark variety, that small piece of dark chocolate you enjoy after dinner as a healthy treat, might be the very reason you're staring at the ceiling at 1 a.m. Chocolate, even dark chocolate, contains both caffeine and theobromine, another stimulant that affects the body similarly to caffeine but lasts even longer in your system. What makes this particularly problematic for seniors is that as we age, our ability to metabolize these stimulants decreases significantly. While a 30-year-old might process the caffeine in chocolate within 5-6 hours, someone over 65 might take 10 to 12 hours to clear it from their system. Martha, a 70-year-old retired librarian, was baffled by her sleep troubles. "I've always been so careful about caffeine," she told me. "No coffee afternoon, no black tea at all. But I was still tossing and turning until 2 or 3 in the morning." After reviewing her daily habits, we discovered her evening ritual included 2 small squares of dark chocolate while she read before bed. "But it's good for my heart," she protested. "And it's dark chocolate, not milk chocolate." When Martha moved her chocolate treat to lunchtime, the results were dramatic. "I fell asleep within 20 minutes of going to bed," she reported after just a few days, "and I stayed asleep until morning." I hadn't realized how powerful those little squares were. A single ounce of dark chocolate contains about 12 milligrams of caffeine, not much for a young person, but potentially significant for a senior. More importantly, it contains about 70 to 80 milligrams of theobromine, which has an even longer-lasting stimulant effect. If you enjoy chocolate, try to consume it before 2 p.m. to give your body ample time to process these stimulants. And if you're craving something sweet in the evening, opt for a small amount of honey in herbal tea or a piece of fruit, which can actually support healthy sleep patterns. Let's move on to the fifth sleep wrecker, one that many seniors turn to specifically for health benefits without realizing its impact on sleep. The fifth sleep destroyer, vitamin supplements taken in the evening, especially B vitamins. Taking your vitamins before bed seems convenient and responsible. After all, you're doing something good for your health, right? But if those supplements contain B vitamins, especially B6 and B12, you might be inadvertently setting yourself up for a night of restlessness and insomnia. B vitamins play a crucial role in energy metabolism. They help convert the food you eat into fuel your body can use. This is excellent during the day when you need energy, but it's exactly what you don't want right before bed. Gerald, a health-conscious 77-year-old, was taking a comprehensive senior multivitamin every evening with dinner. "I figured it was the perfect time. I wouldn't forget, and I'd be taking it with food as recommended," he explained. But Gerald was experiencing fragmented sleep, falling asleep easily, but waking up multiple times during the night, often feeling unusually alert. When he switched to taking his multivitamin with breakfast instead of dinner, the change was immediate. "The very first night I slept straight through until morning," he said. "I had no idea my vitamins could affect my sleep so dramatically." The science behind this is clear. B vitamins, particularly B6 and B12, boost energy production at the cellular level and can increase brain activity. For seniors, whose bodies process nutrients more slowly, taking B vitamins in the evening means they're working to energize your system just when you're trying to wind down. Even more concerning, Many senior-specific vitamin formulations contain higher doses of B vitamins because B12 deficiency is common in older adults. These higher doses can have an even more pronounced effect on sleep. Check your supplement bottles and move any that contain B vitamins to morning or early afternoon. If you're taking separate B vitamin supplements for specific health concerns, be especially careful to take these early in the day. Now let's discuss the sixth sleep wrecker, one that might be central to your evening meal without you realizing its impact. The sixth sleep destroyer: high-protein meals consumed too close to bedtime. Protein is essential for maintaining muscle mass and overall health, especially as we age. But consuming high-protein foods like steak, chicken, or even plant proteins like beans too close to bedtime can significantly disrupt sleep, particularly for seniors. Protein takes more energy to digest than carbohydrates or fats, raising your core body temperature and metabolic rate, essentially telling your body to stay awake and work, rather than rest and recover. For older adults, whose digestive systems have naturally slowed, this effect is even more pronounced. A high-protein dinner can still be actively digesting 3 to 4 hours later, making it difficult to fall into the deeper stages of sleep. William, an active 73-year-old who prided himself on his healthy diet, was regularly having chicken or fish for dinner around 7 p.m. and going to bed at 10 p.m. "I thought I was doing everything right," he said. "High protein, low carbs, lots of vegetables. But I would lie in bed feeling like my body was still on, almost humming with energy." When William shifted his protein-heavy meal to lunch and made dinner a lighter meal with more complex carbohydrates and vegetables, his sleep improved dramatically. "Now I fall asleep within minutes instead of hours," he reported, "and I wake up feeling genuinely rested for the first time in years." The science behind this phenomenon relates to amino acids, the building blocks of protein. Certain amino acids compete with tryptophan, the amino acid that helps produce melatonin, for transport to the brain. A high-protein meal floods your system with these competing amino acids, potentially reducing the amount of sleep-inducing tryptophan that reaches your brain. Additionally, protein digestion requires more stomach acid, which can increase the risk of acid reflux when you lie down, a common sleep disruptor for seniors. This doesn't mean you should avoid protein at dinner entirely. Just consider having your larger protein portion at lunch and keep dinner moderate with no more than 3-4 ounces of protein, and try to finish dinner at least 3 hours before bedtime to give your body time to complete the most demanding part of digestion. Let's turn to the seventh and final major sleep destroyer, one that's often overlooked but might be affecting millions of seniors every night. The seventh sleep destroyer: alcohol, even in small amounts. Many seniors enjoy a glass of wine with dinner or a small nightcap before bed, believing it helps them relax and fall asleep more easily. And while alcohol might indeed help you fall asleep initially, it severely disrupts the quality of your sleep during the night, leaving you less rested in the morning. For older adults, this effect is even more pronounced because the body's ability to metabolize alcohol decreases with age. What might have been a harmless glass of wine in your 40s or 50s can significantly impact your sleep quality in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. Helen, a vibrant 81-year-old, had enjoyed a small glass of red wine with dinner for decades. "It was part of my routine, good for my heart, relaxing after a busy day," she explained. But recently she'd been waking up at 3 a.m., unable to fall back asleep. When Helen eliminated the wine for 2 weeks as an experiment, she was astonished by the results. "I started sleeping through until 6 or 7 in the morning," she said. "I had more energy during the day, and my mind felt clearer. I had no idea that one small glass could affect me so much at my age." Here's what happens. Alcohol might help you fall asleep faster by depressing your central nervous system, but as your body metabolizes it during the night, it creates a rebound effect. D. This typically happens in the second half of the night, causing lighter sleep, more awakenings, and reduced REM sleep, the stage essential for memory consolidation and emotional regulation. For seniors whose sleep is already more fragmented and who spend less time in deep sleep naturally, this additional disruption can be particularly harmful. Studies show that even moderate alcohol consumption reduces total sleep time in older adults by 19 to 41 minutes per night. Furthermore, alcohol is a diuretic, increasing nighttime trips to the bathroom, another common cause of sleep disruption for seniors. It also relaxes the throat muscles, potentially worsening sleep apnea and snoring, which are more prevalent in older adults. If you enjoy alcohol, consider having it with lunch instead of dinner, or at least 3 to 4 hours before bedtime. And limit yourself to one standard drink, as sensitivity to alcohol increases with age. Now that we've covered the 7 major sleep destroyers, let's talk about what you should eat in the evening to promote restful, restorative sleep. The best evening foods for seniors include complex carbohydrates like sweet potatoes, oatmeal, or whole grain toast, which help increase the availability of tryptophan to your brain. Small amounts of certain fruits like kiwi or tart cherries, which naturally contain melatonin and can help regulate sleep cycles. Magnesium-rich foods like a small handful of pumpkin seeds or almonds, which help relax muscles and calm the nervous system. Calcium-containing foods like a small serving of yogurt, which helps the brain use tryptophan to manufacture melatonin. Small amounts of honey, which helps maintain stable blood sugar through the night. Let me share a simple evening meal plan that has helped many seniors transform their sleep. Dinner, at least 3 hours before bed. A small piece of baked fish or a quarter cup of beans for moderate protein. A medium sweet potato for complex carbohydrates. Steamed vegetables with a small amount of olive oil. A small side salad with light dressing. Avoid tomatoes. Evening snack, 1 hour before bed if needed. A small bowl of oatmeal with a teaspoon of honey, half a kiwi fruit, a few almonds, no more. Then 6 to 8, a cup of chamomile tea. This combination provides the nutrients your body needs to produce melatonin naturally while avoiding the foods that might keep you awake. Let's talk about how quickly you might see results when you eliminate these sleep-destroying foods. Based on the experiences of hundreds of seniors I've worked with, here's what you might expect. First night, you might notice you fall asleep a bit more easily, though the full benefits haven't kicked in yet. After 3 to 4 nights, many seniors report sleeping for longer stretches without waking up and feeling more rested in the morning. After 1 week, this is when the most dramatic improvements typically occur. By this point, your body has adjusted to the new pattern, and many people report sleeping through the night for the first time in years. After 2 weeks, the changes become more consistent and reliable. Your body begins to develop a new rhythm, and both falling asleep and staying asleep become easier. After 1 month, the new sleep pattern becomes your new normal. Many seniors report not just better sleep, but improvements in daytime energy, mood, and even cognitive function. Dorothy, an 84-year-old who had struggled with insomnia for nearly a decade, summed it up beautifully after eliminating the sleep-wrecking foods from her evening meals. "For years, doctors offered me sleeping pills," she said, "but all I needed was to understand what I was eating. Now I sleep like I did when I was 60, and I wake up feeling like I can take on the world again. I wish I'd known this years ago." It's important to remember that individual results may vary. Some seniors notice dramatic improvements within days, while others might take a few weeks to see the full benefits. The key is consistency. Make these changes part of your regular routine, not just a one-time experiment. Also, while food plays a crucial role in sleep quality, it works best as part of a comprehensive approach to good sleep hygiene. This includes maintaining a consistent sleep schedule, going to bed and waking up at the same time each day, creating a relaxing bedtime routine that signals to your body it's time to wind down, keeping your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet, Limiting screen time before bed, as the blue light can suppress melatonin production. Getting some natural sunlight during the day, which helps regulate your body's natural sleep-wake cycle. If you've eliminated the sleep-destroying foods and implemented good sleep hygiene practices, but are still struggling with severe insomnia, it's important to consult with a healthcare provider. Sometimes, sleep problems can be a symptom of an underlying health condition that needs attention. In conclusion, what you eat in the evening has a profound impact on your sleep quality, especially as you age. By avoiding the 7 sleep-destroying foods we've discussed and embracing sleep-promoting alternatives, you can transform your nights and, by extension, your days. Remember, good sleep isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for health, cognitive function, and quality of life. You deserve to wake up feeling rested and ready for the day ahead. And often, the solution is as simple as changing what's on your dinner plate. If you found this information helpful, please hit the like button and share this video with someone who might be struggling with sleep. Drop a comment below to let me know which of these sleep-destroying foods surprised you the most, or if you have questions about other foods not covered in this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest health insights. Your best sleep might be just one meal away.